Vigazio, what's up, guys? What is going on? Hope everybody's doing well. Fulham versus Chelsea 2-1. Cucurella, you almost had me convinced. You almost had me convinced because I had to wait until the replay to see whether that was a foul or not, and it was most definitely a foul. Absolutely, it was a foul. And the reason I kind of hesitated in calling that a foul was because Cucurella's done so well in the past with players bigger than him, twice his size. He has no problem. It's rare if somebody kind of beats Cucurella. So I think that's the thing. That's why he got beat, because he actually found someone his match, more or less the same, height and body composition, that allowed Harry Wilson to get away from him. And had he not fouled him, with the quality and the way Harry Wilson's playing as of lately, and the way he played in this game, no less, he would have scored. I think he would have scored. He definitely would have scored. Cucurella, man. And then just like the complaining, that was wild to me. That was crazy that he was trying to make a case that he didn't foul him. Absolutely, of course that was a foul. You were holding him. Like there was no way that was not going to be a foul. And then what surprised me was that Fulham didn't really take advantage of the fact that Chelsea had 10 men, because it was Chelsea that were leading the game. Chelsea were dominating this game for quite some time, and I just couldn't make sense of it. I thought, you guys better take advantage of this, because if you go on to the second half without scoring a goal, Chelsea are probably going to score a goal. I mean, they're no Arsenal, but they look set to be able to score before Fulham. And then, of course, they got the goal. Unfortunately, it was an offside. Really good goal. Really good play by Fulham. And it showed that they have something there. Because even though, Chelsea had only 10 men, they were able to break through the middle, break through the lines, and create something. Really good from Jimenez with the little flick to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson, I think, to Kearney. Kearney back to Harry Wilson in the strike. But that was so good. So well played through the middle to find something in such a tight space. That was really well done from Fulham. So I knew that they had something. I knew that they had some kind of plan. It wasn't just going to be corners or shots from outside, even though I'm never against those shots from outside. If anything, I want to see more of those long shots from outside. And then they got the goal in a way that I didn't think that it was going to come from a header. I didn't see that it was going to come from a header. I thought it was going to come from maybe a set play, or maybe in a link up, a build up of some kind, maybe a counter. They looked pretty good on the counters and the breakaways, but it came from a really good header from Jimenez, and the very dorky way of celebrating. I mean, what's not to like about that? Despite him having sustained a head injury in the past, just diving, catapulting himself into the ground. Why not? Because that was a really good header. Of course, the replay again made me see maybe Sanchez could have gotten to it. I don't know. It looked a little bit like Sanchez could have gone. Like he had enough time to get to the goal. But no, nonetheless, that was a really good header. And they get the 1-0. And of course, Chelsea come back with the flick, the header from Robinson that hits the goalpost, and Delap. And Delap was playing a good game, I think. Yes, there was sometimes that he looked a little sloppy, that he looks like he's just a muscle kind of player, that he just purely relies on physicality. But the play, the dummy from Palmer to Delap, I thought at first he was not going to control the ball well. He ends up controlling the ball well, and not only that, but he takes the ball with him. Like that's one thing that surprised me. He bolts away. He frees himself from his defenders, and Leno with a really good save. And that should have been a goal. I can't help it, but that should have been a goal. But the way in which he controlled the ball and just sprinted past his defender, I think it was like two of them that were surrounding him, that was great. That's what a number 9 should do. And finally, he was able to show that. I thought he had a good game. Maybe some people might disagree that he missed some chances. He did. I think like there was 1 or 2 chances that, he could have made more out of it. And then Harry Wilson to finish it. And what I loved about that goal was not only the through pass that he provided Rowe, but also when he got the rebound, switching it over to his right foot. Hato came up to him. I thought he was going to take the ball away. I thought he was actually going to strike at first, and he was going to hit Hato. Very good skill from Harry Wilson. He does a really good job and shoots, and there's a little bit of deflection, I think, with Reece James, and you got your 2-1. Really good from also Hato. I sensed a little bit of a hesitation at the beginning. He seemed like he was a little bit shaken at the beginning, but he did a really good job, especially against Harry Wilson. Almost identical play to Cucurella, and gives it to Sanchez with the header. Kind of landed on his face to the ground. Really good defending, though, from Hato. Palmer, as I always say, very lackadaisical, but he makes a difference, obviously, with that kind of very slow motion type of football. He offers that kind of pause. Reminds me of like the old number 10s from the past. Caicedo always with the physicality. I love it, but I wish he could kind of like tone it down just a bit, or maybe not be too aggressive where he seems like he's going to get a yellow. There were some instances like a shot from Harry Wilson that he ends up elbowing Harry Wilson in the face on the ground. And luckily the ref, or nobody saw that. I think that could have been another yellow and possibly a red card later on. Even though I think he wasn't one of the ones that got the yellow when Cucurella got the red card, it was Enzo, Tossin, and Palmer. And of course, Silva from Fulham also got a yellow. But to tone it down and be just a little bit smart when to do those gratuitous fouls. There's a time to actually do that, I think. I wouldn't say to completely eliminate that from his style of play. That's just the way he plays. But some of those could actually cost you a game. So try to avoid that. Caicedo, please try to avoid that. Overall, a good game, obviously for Fulham and not so much for Chelsea. I don't know what's going to happen with this new coach that is coming in. Now I kind of am changing my tune with Maresca. Not because he didn't need to leave, but I don't think he needed to leave right now at this moment. There were really no signs for him to leave. This guy coming in, I think he's piggybacking off of what Maresca did, just like Maresca's piggybacking off of what Pochettino had, and Pochettino's piggybacking off of Potter. Because if Maresca had the Potter job, he wouldn't have gotten where he's at. Let's be honest. If he would have gotten like the squad, I should say, that Potter got, there was no way that Maresca would have done what he did. So this guy, Liam, is inheriting a really good team at this point. We'll see if he has the coaching chops to be able to make something happen with this Chelsea side. But I do think seeing him, because I thought it was going to be a bigger signing that was going to come in, a different coach, I don't see it going that far. And it's a 6-year contract. I think it's a 3-year contract. I don't know much about this coach, so we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.